Hello.
Hey, Zolfi.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
Hi.
we got a few people joining here, so I'll let them in.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I'm just letting a few more people in here. Looks like Maxwell, Stefano, Petal. Welcome. Oh, Petal, I can hear you. Your mic is on. That's okay. Are you in Germany, Petal?
I am
Oh, good. Okay, where are you?
Leverkusen.
Leverkusen. Okay. All right. And what brings you here today?
Well, I just saw the link not that long ago, and I thought it would be interesting to join.
Sure.
Um, um,
Have you joined one of the events before?
I have corresponded with you before, but I haven't been able to join the live events.
All right, good. The first time. I have just a heads up. So people will probably be coming in just over the next hour, dropping in here and there. And so I'll just wait a couple minutes. If you have a question on the top of your head, we can answer it while it's not that many people, if you'd like. I'll just introduce my colleague Zulfikar is here as well. I'm not sure if you also spoke with Zulfikar, but he's there on camera too, so you can see. Otherwise, Maxwell and Stefano, I'm going to answer their questions today too. So we have a small group as of now. So, yeah, Patel, I mean, with your current situation, are you employed or are you actually looking for work?
Not at the moment. So I was employed for 3 years previously. My last contract came to an end, and since then I've been doing Weiterbildung
Hmm.
for the training. At the moment, I am learning German intensively because I didn't really have the time to do it before. I took like a few hours, but it wasn't sufficient. Well, I was working full time, so it wasn't sufficient for me to achieve a level of fluency that was acceptable. So
Hmm.
I'm using the time now to learn German more intensively, and I'm also looking for my next position, my next contract.
I see. And what level have you made it to now in German?
In terms of language
Hmm.
training,
Hmm.
I'm at the B1 2 level, the second part of the
Yeah,
B1.
that's
Yeah.
right. Okay. And when you do applications, what do you find that most of them ask for? Which level?
Well, the applications that I've been targeting were all for English speaking roles.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because I don't think I'm not that confident in German to apply for a German role. Some ads would say a good knowledge of English and German, or German
Hmm.
is like a nice to have, or it's preferable, but the positions that I've been applying for have not been mandatory German language.
Okay. I mean, I think this is a good strategy in general because probably you've gone through my latest list from January too about all the companies that are hiring right now. So that is a good start if you haven't looked at it yet. So if you there are some English jobs there for you, and if you're finding enough, then great. That's a good strategy. You are getting to the point now where once you have B1, there should be around 33% more jobs available to you in the sense that if it says good German, you have the opportunity to talk to the hiring manager and let them know that you do speak conversational German. So that's one of those where if they don't say specifically in the job post, like need mother tongue German or native speaker, C2, etc., as
Yeah.
long as it's good German, you have a chance if you schedule a call with them to just start talking German with them. And then you'll be able to convince them that your German is decent enough or not. Yeah, does that make sense?
Oh, I'm taking notes.
Yeah, please. So that because that should open up more jobs for you too. Because sometimes it's hard to find all the English speaking jobs you can run out. So then just that would be my advice is take a look at inside of those job posts, do a control F for the language, search German,
Mhm.
and then you can see how they're wording it inside of the job post. And that's key. If they're very hard line with the native speaker or C2 verbiage, or if it's just you need good German. How are you doing finding job posts in general? Whether it's, I know you're not really looking at the German speaking roles, but as far as English speaking roles, do you find enough, do you feel?
Not really. And then I think, and this was something that you had mentioned to me before, but I think the roles that I'm targeting are also a bit niche. Um, so I am a vet by training, but I've worked in like research and development. So that sort of narrows the pool further. Um, I think you'd suggested J&J some time ago to me, and I have tried. Um, but
Johnson and Johnson?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
What
There
what
are
happens? What happens when you apply? What do they say?
well, so I know, and I have worked before in human medicine, and now I know. I'd just like to just to clarify really briefly, and I hope I'm not like overstepping the time of anyone else. But once you know the fundamentals of physiology, or so you can. So, for example, a medical writer can be a vet because they understand the processes and the physiological changes and so on that happen with disease. And I have worked quite extensively editing human materials in human medicine, right? As a vet. So the knowledge is quite easily transferable. Um, Now to apply in industry, I think it's a challenge to convince hiring managers that I am capable of doing something in a medical company as I would be for a animal health or veterinary pharma company.
Okay, so are you definitely looking to go into industry now?
Yes. Well, I was in industry. My last contract was in a pharma company.
Okay. Okay, because when you said veterinarian, I'm not sure if you want to stick with your medical practice, if you want to actually just work, with your own practice or, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the field, to be honest. I haven't had a lot of clients with that background, but I would think then if you want to transition to the corporate side of things, working with Johnson and Johnson or working with a pharma company, that's something else. So that's what I was wondering if you were balancing that because I thought when we had emailed before, you said something about you weren't sure if you wanted to go back into the corporate side of things, if that's what I understood, or if you're looking at other options, whether it's more schooling or whether it's to work in an actual veterinarian practice.
I'd rather not work in a clinical practice. That would actually require far more. I would need to be fluent, and I would also need to sit additional examinations in Germany to um, be involved in clinical practice specifically.
I see. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's come back to this. Let's see if we can build on this question with some other people's question, and I'll come back to you. Also, it looks like everyone doesn't have their camera on. That's fine. Feel free to take the camera off if you want. Otherwise, you can also put the any question that you have in the chat, and then either myself or Zulfi can help answer. And then yeah, and then we can start with that. So, I mean, what other until I see Zulfikar, can you hear me all right, by the way? Do you want to
Yeah,
unmute
I can
yourself real
hear
quick?
you. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wanted to check. Stefano, I see you're here with your thumb. Do you have any particular question Zulfi and I can answer?
Hi, everybody. No, not at the moment. No questions at the moment. I was just replying to your question about hearing you. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Oh,
And
okay. I
but at
see.
the moment,
Sure.
no
Okay.
questions at all. Maybe let's see.
Okay. Yeah, then we
Thank
will,
you.
no problem. And Stefano, if I remember correctly, you're in New Zealand or are you back in
N-
Germany?
No, never been. Let me turn on my camera. Never been to New Zealand. I've been here in Germany for the past 10 years. But
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
another gentleman, I think, named Stefano I
Yeah,
was talking
probably.
to.
I imagine so. Yeah, yeah. No. Here in Germany, and let's say silent member of these mailing lists for the past 10 years, as I said, as I since I moved here in Germany, and
Oh, okay.
now let's see. Might have, of course, I have reasons to be here. I'll maybe eventually explain those later. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Yeah. Hi, Prakash. I see you dropped in. Thanks for joining, by the way. And
Hey
Vinu,
Kevin.
Vinu's here as well. Vinu, I think you're in Hamburg.
Yeah. Hey Kevin. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, doing good, guys. Thanks for joining. And Prakash, so it's what, 8:30 for you, roughly? 8:45 in the night?
Yeah, 40.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
Good. Yeah, well, guys, I mean, we started just a few minutes ago. I was helping answer some of Patel's questions about let's see, more people are coming in. Just about her situation in particular. It's a bit specific with veterinarian background and going into potentially corporate side of things like pharma. So Prakash, I'm not sure it applies to you, to be honest. Vinu, neither yourself. But
No,
what we're
no.
gonna do is this is more open forum, and people are probably gonna drop in over the next hour, either ask specific questions. We're gonna Zulfikar and I are gonna help answer them, and then totally if something comes to your mind, feel free to ask. I also have some stuff I can share, like with links about what's going on right now, why the job market's so bad, etc. Does anyone have a guess why? I mean, so with Google right now, one of the top searches is why is the job market so bad? It seems like you could say that about a lot of places, but for Germany, why do you guys think that it's particularly bad right now?
Might not sound too smart, but I think that it's mainly the general economic situation. I mean, my perspective is that the German economic model, so to speak, is failing. I mean, it worked very quite nicely for the past few years until 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's not sustainable anymore for this country,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore we had some 3 years already, 2 years where practically Germany went in and out of recession, meaning that growth was negative, so negative growth, so not growth, no growth actually. And this year might be a bit better due to some money being injected in the system. But the main problem remains, meaning that, as I said, it's just my perspective. The main problem remains, and that means that the economic model is not doing that well anymore. And in the foreseeable, and it won't be doing, and won't be getting any better in the foreseeable future due to the fact that some key sectors are not doing that well, automotive, uh, manufacturing, chemicals, and all this kind of stuff. So all in all, the
Mm-hmm.
situation is, I mean, there are numbers recently, well, not that much, but I think it was November, something like that. Bosch, one of the biggest companies or concern as they are defined here in Germany, announced, I think, 13,000 furloughs to be done in the next, what, 5 years or something like that. So
But could you repeat the last part? To be done in
Uh,
which time frame?
I think until 2030.
Oh, the number of the unfilled
Yeah,
positions idea.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
the idea is that Bosch needs to let go, or so they announced that they need to let go 13,000 people
Uh,
by 2030.
uh, yeah, that's definitely believable. I mean, Amazon also just laid off 16,000 people this week. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, heard that.
So that's just in 1 week. But a bigger company. But yes, I mean, between Bosch and the auto industry as well, the headcount's going down. And the number, it's crazy because the number of unfilled positions every year is ending still very high, but the requirements for workers is also still very high. So the requirements are there, but they're turning away from the human capital and going into other sources. And then if you look at actually the number of, one good sign actually is that the people that are getting jobs are more foreigners than there are Germans getting jobs. I'll show you guys something about that. But this was interesting that I saw, like, without foreigners getting jobs in Germany, the economy would be even worse because the number of German people that are, well, number one, that are in the labor force, of course, everyone knows that's going down, but also the number of Europeans moving to Germany is also slowing, and the number of Germans that are employed is not as much. I'll show this what I just read here the other day, and then Vino, I'll come to your question here as well. This is something else actually. Let me get around this. Here it is. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sure you know Perplexity. It's one of the AI systems these days. But it was saying that I was surprised by this. So it's coming from Arbeitsagentur. So it's saying that without foreigners getting jobs, the job numbers would be even more unfilled. So the rate of that the foreigners are getting jobs is higher than the rate of actually Germans getting jobs. So this was interesting. I can send you guys this if you want.
Is Perplexity hiring? I saw the news. They have opened up one of their units recently, I think in Q4 last year in
Mm-hmm.
Berlin.
Okay. Yeah, this could be a good option.
So
This could be a good option. I would definitely keep
I
an
mean,
eye on them.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, how legit the source of information is, because personally I don't use Perplexity. I use Clouded. I prefer that. The content, I rely on that. But if they are saying, then maybe it's correct. But I mean,
Oh,
isn't
Prakash,
the
you're breaking up a little bit.
yeah.
I want to check your connection.
Okay, so
Okay.
what I was saying is, isn't it contrast that most, I mean, I understand maybe from the business side, the requirement and response could be different, but these TA folks, they are telling a different story altogether, because if I go by the JD, the preference shows that a German person will, of course, know German to be to C1 level easily through education, qualification, everything. And they, I mean, logically, it applies that majority of the position is going to be filled up there. So,
By people that have what you said, B1 to C2, correct? That's a pretty big range, but yeah, I think you mean it's a little bit higher than that. It's usually a B2 to C2. Is that what you meant? Oh wait, Prakash, are you still there? I think we lost Prakash. Okay, Prakash, one
I'm
second.
audible
Can
now.
you could you fix your connection? I'll welcome you back in like 2 minutes. I just want to answer Vinu's question here before I forget. Yeah, Vino. So in the chat, you were wondering about the language being made strict. It's actually a similar one, not just in Germany, but in all EU countries. And about a freelancer getting a freelancer license for a better professional life. Okay, so I'd be curious to hear about what you have looked into with the Freiberufler visa, because I feel if I remember correctly, you're in Hamburg, and so being a Freiberufler in Hamburg is a bit complicated. So if you are working with someone already, I don't know if you are, but you have to be a liberal type of profession. So you need to fall under this sort of legal framework of being a liberal profession, and they're quite strict about it. But if you're talking about in other areas, I'm not too sure. I think in Berlin it's a little bit more straightforward. But other than that, I couldn't advise you about it. But what you're talking about with the language is very true. This is why the first thing that I always give on the website and to people is that company list, because it just shrinks your focus instead of being so wide across all the different job boards to really just taking a look at which international companies that are friendly and open-minded to hiring foreigners, which of them have jobs posted. And that's why I try to keep it updated and clean. So it has the job link there, and then you just need to filter by industry. But the tough part is that if you're talking about countries, you have Ireland, Netherlands, and then possibly Sweden, but it's not exactly clear, and Malta above Germany as far as percentages. And you probably know Germany by now, it's less than 4%. So that's just the nature of it. There's not any English speaking dominant countries except for native speakers, except we don't consider UK anymore because they left the EU. So you have Ireland, you have Malta, and that's it as far as the native speakers. So that's what comes with it, right? So if you're in a country and you don't speak their native language, you have to figure out a way, to contribute. And there's less opportunities to do that, unfortunately, but that's how it works. Prakash, if you want, you can try to. Oh, it still says your connection is a little bit poor.
Hey,
By the way, does
Kevin,
anyone have any experience? Are you trying to apply outside of Germany? And if so, have you tried another country recently? How's it going for you? I'd be curious to hear from people as well. Outside of Germany in the EU, that is.
Kevin, actually, this is Vinny here. I tried
Hi, Vinny.
to apply for some jobs in Luxembourg and in Belgium specifically because I see a lot of opportunity there. But they are also slowly trying to push the language aspect over that. And one more reason is they're also not that comfortable giving a work visa because even if you have a PR from Germany, they still need to have an option to give us a work visa, which is
Mhm.
also something that they're not very open to provide. So these two
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Luxembourg is tough. I haven't heard of many people getting jobs in Luxembourg, to be honest, because it's such a small job market. I mean, there is Amazon there. They have a big fortress, let's say, or they have a big base there. So I did hear of one person, they got an English speaking job in Luxembourg with Amazon. Besides that, I do know it's good actually for being self-employed, apparently, but I couldn't tell you too much otherwise about that because you've got a mixture of languages there, not that many English speaking jobs. And again, yeah, it's a small market. But can you remind me if you knew which kind of jobs are you going for? Or you mentioned
uh,
even freelancing. So is this something that you're
yeah,
looking
no,
into?
actually, I'm more into the business analyst or the project management profile, and that is where I see a lot of opportunity in Belgium. Actually, that is why I applied there. And in Germany also, I see opportunities, but they are also looking for, like, German language more compulsory. And I don't see. I would say it's better we learn the language because that gives you an extra edge. That is what I'm also trying. I'm right now going with my B1 language, B1 certification right now, and
B1, yeah.
I would say, yeah, so I would say it is better to sharpen your language skills rather than just hunting for English because it's less. We all know it is less actually. So if we hunt for that, the chances are less. But if you at least sharpen your language skills and make it better, it's also going to help you. Like once you're confident with German language, I believe we could also switch to Spanish and French because it is almost similar to some extent and it will help the language skills. But language is important. That is what I'm trying to aim for as of
Oh
now.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. No, I always
Yeah.
say too, there's no reason not to improve the language. So if you have time and especially if you're jobless, it's going to help in any case. So definitely that's the right path to do it. You had mentioned that you do have an action plan in place. That's a little bit different. Is the action plan now, is it trying in Luxembourg?
No, no, no. My action plan as of now is to get B1 and then apply for B2. And once I get the B2, because I have next 3 months in plan to acquire that. And like I'm right now jobless, so I have ample time to learn and ample time to get the B2 certification. So once I get B2, I should be able to apply for jobs here also.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
my
Yeah,
aim is to get language also because I've been trying for last few months and I know English language jobs are pretty less. So doesn't make sense. I look out for that and then be sad that I didn't get the response. So I
right.
changed the plan to learn language anyway. So
Right. Now, do you feel when you apply, do they ask for B2 certificate in particular?
and I applied for few of those and I got the call back and they would specifically ask C1, not certification, but at least C1, C2 level of the German language.
So this happens often that they get you back with that.
Yeah, yeah. If I get a response back, like if I get, I mean, usually I get a random email, like we all get. But if I get a response back from some HR, they would say for me to acquire C1 with level language. And there was one company in Hamburg, which is kind of a global, I won't name it, but it's kind of a global company. I applied there, and during the call, they just asked me randomly, how good is your German language? I said I'm right at A2 level, and the next moment is I get a rejection letter. So, so it
Okay.
happens that they still need German language. Yeah.
Right. So, but you've gone down the list of companies that I've sent you, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it's, I mean, if you're going to those companies that are focused more on the language and on specifically, it sounds like native language skills. So is
Yeah.
that, I mean, have you got none of the ones in the list are a fit at this point for you, or you've already applied to all of them?
No, no, no. I didn't apply to all the list of companies that was there actually, because I thought let's like since I have time, let me revise my language also simultaneously, and because I think that's much better. I mean, if I'm looking for a better scope in the future, I think language is what I should be aiming more. Because jobs are still there. There are jobs that even though we say we have less jobs and the scope is less, but we have jobs and it is German language scope. So better we aim for language and then do how to say, re,
Hmm. Yeah. Now, with doing the language, do you feel you would have time to study the language and apply intensively to jobs in Germany? Because that you should be doing both, right? Because while you're learning the language, it shouldn't be an either or. You should try to incorporate both. I don't know if we lost you, Vinu. All right, we might have lost Vinu there. Zulfi, what do you find something in particular? I mean, do you find a similar struggle to what Vinu's talking about? What would you say in what you've seen from job posts? Or
Um,
actually, you want to share? You can even share how you got a job, you got an offer recently, if you want to share
um,
what happened with
yeah,
that.
sure. Well, I started doing the video course, and actually I did was I got a job in like 2 weeks, and I was just following the basics. I was receiving the emails and all. Uh, First thing that I did was I stayed on the course and reached out to some of the hiring managers on my own, asked a few of them for a one-on-one call. One of the recruiters actually said yes, and from there onwards it was simple, I would say, because they wanted to hire someone who was based in Europe, so I was there. And also, next thing that they wanted to as a requirement was language was not a requirement in my case, since it was a US based company. And my preference for now is to work in a company that speaks English until I find like a suitable opportunity that actually gives me relocation opportunity down the line.
Hmm. But how did you find a remote job with an American company in Europe? Because that's pretty rare. Can you tell people
Uh,
about that?
Yeah, I think I since I'm in go-to-market engineering, GTME, so I follow quite a lot of people on LinkedIn. So I saw a post, I reached out to a recruiter, and they reached. So they asked for a portfolio, a 5-10 minutes Loom video, and I shared that with them, and they got back to me with some tests and all.
Yeah. So, I mean, how did you know, as far as like doing a Loom video or reaching out to them, sharing your calendar? You mentioned the video course. We talk
Mhm.
about that in the video course. Did you know how to
Mhm.
do that before? Because I don't think a lot of people are doing that, and this could be good for people to hear because it's kind of unconventional.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
So, yeah, no problem. When you found this company and I believe you sent your calendar to the recruiter. Was that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you, because that's like a big shift that from how people normally do it. They just apply and then they just wait for the count, or if they do reach out to the recruiter, maybe they just wait for the calendar from them. But how did you figure out to just send your calendar? Was it only from the video course, or have you been doing that consistently?
No, I haven't done that before. I just did it because I read that in the video course. I saw the video and it was mentioned there. So I wanted to try that. I haven't tried it before. I tried it with a few, and the first one who got back to me, they were hiring. So I had to just book them on my call and then.
Okay, I see. All right. But yeah, what are you still considering Germany in the long run? And what would be your view about doing that for a German company?
I think so that that would be that is my one of the most top priorities right now to to find a job in Germany or Netherlands, because I think because I've lived there before, so I'm pretty much used to, and I believe that the job market there in the longer run and overall, my I would say overall the way I think this market is going to shift is going to be really good in the German market because it is a really booming economy, and a lot of new startups are formed every month at least in Berlin and Hamburg. So it's nice. It would be nice to work in person and rather than working remote because I've been working remote
Yeah.
all this time.
I see. So yeah, I mean, I think the key thing is that there's different like ways of looking at it. Like we heard earlier that there's problems with the economic model, which is true. That it's also true that for a lot of countries, Germany is still the best option to go to, even with a lagging market. in comparison to where it should be right now. You just put it into perspective towards other countries and other options for people, it's still a leading option. So, but I mean, it's really cool that you got a remote job. So because that's super hard right now, because everyone probably saw my recent LinkedIn post. It's a very small percentage of jobs are full-time English remote. So that's really cool that you did that process and you were able to get that. I think it would be helpful. It should have been helpful that people heard that, like picked up on a little bit of that strategy that you did. So that's good. If someone dropped in, those are some key points, that we can advise to do in this type of market. There's a couple of people that came recently. So I'll just welcome. Hi, Natalie and Ekaterina and Elmosle and Chabu. Hi, welcome to the meeting. We're talking about people's questions. Some people have dropped off. And then I believe Prakash has a question as well. We'll get to if he's still here. But feel free to unmute yourself. You can ask a question or drop a question in the chat, however is most comfortable.
Yeah, hi Kevin.
Hi.
I don't have a question, but I heard a lot about you, and it's nice to talk to you. Yeah, I can give you a background about myself. Maybe it can help as well.
Yeah, I think it would help first just to where are you located now, and then what are you looking to do job wise?
Oh, sure. Currently in Vienna, nearby Stuttgart, Germany. I am a software developer. I used to work as a C#.NET software developer, and I have a master's degree in embedded system from Sweden. And currently, I'm looking for a job since like 2 months, but I am unemployed for like one year so far. I was not looking extensively during that period, but now I am applying quite often, almost 300 applications a month. And I'm also learning German. I have like kind of B1 level, but I did not pass all the parts. I still need to repeat the hearing and writing exams, and that should be fine. And I'm also trying to reach C1 level. I'm considering taking language school as well. And I heard one of the colleagues here in the meeting mentioned that he received rejection due to the language, and I also faced the same thing. I applied a lot, and 4 or 5 of the emails that I received, they mentioned that I need C1 level. And I got 2 emails where I got asked to do a kind of a gaming puzzle or like kind of assessment. And I submitted that. And so far, this is my situation. I'm still looking, and yeah.
Okay. So when you came from Sweden at the start, you may have mentioned it, but what is your status now? How long do you have in Germany, and which kind of visa do you have?
Okay, so at the beginning, I came as with a work contract at Alten GmbH, and I worked for almost 3 years. And yeah, my status right now, after I lost my job, is I applied for the Chancenkarte. That was the kind of the option that I was aware of, and that's it. So I need to renew it actually soon.
Oh, okay, because your visa was tied to the employer when you got laid off.
Yeah, as I
And then
said,
you
I
applied
have
for
no clue,
Chancenkarte.
and I just heard about Chancenkarte and I applied to it. Even the Islander Behörde they mentioned, since this is your preference to apply for the Chancenkarte, then we will do it for you. But I was not sure what to do, like what kind of the best visa to apply for after like layoff.
All right. I mean, I think it's a good option. If you got approved, then you got 1 year to be in Germany, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a good option. And then you're able to apply for jobs, you're able to stay here. And then, but you should have, you were eligible or should have been for social benefits, correct? From when you got laid off. So there shouldn't have, did you get set up with that from Arbeitsagentur?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. So,
Even the employer told me to advise me to do it.
yeah. Okay. So, I mean, then you're being paid to be a job seeker. That's not too bad, but it is hard. You said 300 job applications, so that's a lot, but that's not, if you talk about a month per day, it's not that heavy. But are you actually manually doing it every time, or what does the process look like when you make an application? Or are you actually reaching out to people directly, or are you just making cold applications?
Yeah, the way Zulfikar mentioned, it's in kind of the next step that I'm looking for. And at the beginning, I tried it like that, and I have a kind of 2 or 3 CVs for a kind of jobs in specific topics like C# developer, embedded system, and so on. And for the cover letter, I have a master prompt, and I have like in ChatGPT like a project where I attached all the files and the master prompt, and I just copied the job description and paste it and get like kind of tailored cover letter, and I just modify a little bit, add the initials, company's location, information, these kind of typical things, and submit. Like I think if the company or the employer is interested, they will reach out, and I prefer not to waste much time on making it way more tailored
Okay,
kind
but
of documents.
did you get any interviews?
Not so far, but I have done it since like mid of December last year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because it's just been a few months. You said you were actually trying. Before
Yeah.
that, you weren't. Okay. But what I would suggest is that if you've looked into this course, and it sounds like you'd be a really good candidate to do this course with us. So this is what we were primarily going to be talking about today, is that next week I'm working with 4 people full time, and we reach out to 10 hiring managers per week. So instead of 10 cold applications per day, roughly, that you're doing, or 10 times per week, I reach out to 5 hiring managers directly. Some of them are already in my network that I know. Some of them are warm handovers. Other people, I reach out to them. I help you figure out who is going to be the contact person for your specific role. And then you'll delegate half the work to me, and I will go approach those people for you. So it's cutting out the idea of waiting for a reply from the human resources once you submit your application. So I'm not sure if you caught what Zulfikar mentioned earlier. So there's a shift that you should do, and is taking control of scheduling your own interviews and making your own phone call. If you can think about that, like perspective wise, of making it your own process, it makes a big difference to start to get those interview invitations and calls. Because right now, when you're waiting and you're not getting any calls, we should definitely try something else. And this, most of the people that do this course, is they want to change that approach from submitting and doing the tailoring or doing the ChatGPT, and then moving to actually just reaching out to the decision makers directly through the LinkedIn or Zing, and then you're scheduling your own call. So you're sharing your calendar, you're asking them for their availability. It's much more direct. And that I would suggest that you try this. Have you looked into the Expats Job Miracle?
No, I am not aware about the course or kind of
Okay.
about such things, but I heard it from the website. I'm not sure if it's the same thing that you mentioned. You will contact like every week hiring manager and so on.
Yeah. That's the 2 times per year course that we do. So that's the one. So over the last 13 years, it's always really happened from February through the summer, so which is the one that's coming up. And then break in August because of the holiday month, and then it goes September till December. So the last one was over, helped a couple of people get jobs, and now the next one is starting. I have 4 people in the seats, and I take 8 people total, because then it's full-time access, and we work very consistently, usually at least 1 meeting per week. And then I'll provide you with a lot of different types of materials, like a built out Excel file that'll help track your practice. You'll track your progress, rather, and you'll have a video course that will come to you. But mainly it's the consistency of every week, Tuesday through Thursday, we're approaching decision makers, and I'm showing you where these people are, what their title is, and then I'm actually making the messages for you, helping you schedule interviews the whole time. And you're getting really good at sharing your calendar, following up with people if they don't respond, and then scheduling your interviews that way. Because then when you cold apply afterwards, it has context, because you've ideally already talked to the person. and they know who you are a little bit, you have a short call with them, or even from a LinkedIn chat, they need to trust you. And then once they sense that you're someone that they might want to work with, this gives you the opportunity to either get a referral, or you can ask them about how the referral process works. So that's in a nutshell, that's very succinctly how the program runs, but it goes from February till July. So I'm not sure how did you hear about Immigrant Spirit, by the way? Because you had mentioned you had heard about me.
About you, how I heard
Yeah.
about you. One time I was like 1 year ago, maybe, I read an article for the local.de, and you were
Nice.
mentioned in it, and I came across to your website. At that time, you had different kind of package and information. It seems like you are using that kind of new approach, which is cool. And I will definitely consider it, by the way. Yeah.
Sure.
But frankly speaking, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between like enrolling with this course and having kind of this hiring manager per week and have to talk to them? Maybe it's kind of an interview, but what's the difference between it and using like LinkedIn Premium and try to reach out
Right.
directly to this hiring manager? And it sounds like or go to the website and
Yeah.
reach out to the kind of
Cold
contact
email
information there.
as
Yeah.
well. Yep. Email, anything we can find for contacting this person directly. Most times it's through LinkedIn that we send them a
Okay.
connection request, and we include a message, and the message is specifically about, number one, it can be about the job, mentioning the specific job, but you're referencing, not that you're asking about how to apply for the job quite yet, but you need to clarify a couple of things before you apply. And a lot of times the people will accept. So it's 3 to 4 out of 10 are accepting our connection requests. The next challenge is getting them to respond and getting for them to actually
Yeah.
pay attention to you. And that's an art. You have to figure out how to press the right buttons with what they're looking for. And they're going to look at your profile as well. So the profile needs to be good, your LinkedIn
Mhm.
profile, because you don't want to just send them your CV right away, or you don't want to just ask them for a referral right away. That also doesn't come across as very nice. So it's a nurturing process that you have to do with people to get them to open up a little bit, so that they give you a chance to have a phone call. Because if you can have a phone call, it's really the key to anything else. Then that opens up your chance to apply after that. Because if you just make the applications, it's very hard to find an entrance unless you have something on your application when it comes in that they pay attention to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is one thing I would like to ask. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
Stefano mentioned earlier about the situation in Germany and how difficult it is with the job market and the reasons behind it. But there is also the AI thing, like vibe coding, and one engineer can handle 10 kind of 10 engineers back in days. So it seems like, and it's not fixed yet. It's still developing quite rapidly. So what is your thought about it as a software engineer and AI? Like, do you think still hiring managers need this like many employees, or one with a lot of AI skills? Like what kind of skills and how many numbers they are looking for?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can build AI skills, it's a good option in any case. I don't know if you already are, but the number, I think it was the top two most the highest rising roles that I saw recently. Number one is head of AI. Number two is AI engineer. And those are for the reasons that you just mentioned. But as far as software engineering roles, they're not going anywhere. Number one, because for us, those are English speaking jobs, because most of the time you don't need to face customers. That means that with internal teams and dealing with your coding and the systems, usually the language is not so much of a barrier. So relatively, there's more jobs in that regard compared to others. But the number of job posts are across the board going down because of what you mentioned. That's unfortunate truth. There's nothing to do about it. But if you're a software engineer, you know that you're going to be one of the few people that can actually talk to AI and do it, operate it etc. So that's why it's that as a profession, clearly it's not going anywhere. But in Germany and the countries where you struggle with the language barrier, that's one of the ones that you have a chance. So this is why, for you, I mean, it's certainly considering what you had mentioned earlier as well with the amount that you've picked it up and your timeline, I'm not worried. But I think you should change the strategy of how you're doing it, because with just making a lot of more applications and not getting interviews, it's going to be tiresome. So what I'll do is I'll just send you after this. If you want, we can have a chat after this, or I'll just send you as well the program link, and then you can check it out and we can talk about how to make it work for you to do it.
Yeah.
That sound all right?
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Was there any part of that was confusing or that I didn't answer?
No,
No.
not at all.
Okay. All right. A couple more people came in here. Prakash, it looks like your question was back. Demand a lot of go-to-market roles. Yeah. So Zulfikar's.
Hey,
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
hey, no, that was just a comment I was making. So yeah, I was saying yes, I have noticed a lot of GTM roles lately as well. Nonetheless, so I wanted to ask one thing. So I see that in the news as well, that in Germany the part-time employment is something getting scrapped out or something. I was that recently in the news. Is it completely in like execution as of now? There is no part-time at all. Because I saw that in the news there is some policy reforms which are probably happening, or is it in the process? That's the first thing. Second, so regarding contacting the hiring manager, so I, as much as I could understand from the process that you mentioned, you're doing that as of now manually, right? Uh,
Yeah.
have you tried to build any AI tool, or has anyone tried to build any AI tool through which we can, I mean, that can fetch on a real time, probably, sort of updating it and maintaining it with all the contact details? Because that's something I'm trying as of now on my own. I haven't, I'm not sure how accurate the data is getting, but that is something I'm trying out to check if anyone is doing. Third, so to contact the person,
Okay.
let's say I don't have
Wait.
the LinkedIn. Yeah.
Let's stick to the first two and then we'll go to the third because it's hard for me to remember everything. Number one, with regards to part-time work, as far as I've heard, I haven't noticed that. I know that with Chancenkarte, there might be some changes coming up because it's not been so successful for a lot of people. So they might change the idea of advertising that you can work part-time and allowing the number of hours. But that would be my guess. I haven't actually heard that much about that. I just know that they're probably going to change some stuff. Oh, here, someone put a link. Thanks, Patel. So there's a link probably that talks a little bit more about that. Then as the second part of your question, as far as the AI system, I haven't used anything like that. There are some tools like LinkedIn Helper that sends out messages automatically. I don't think it's a good look because people can tell if it's an AI message these days. So if you are going to do it, make the messages yourself, then try it out on a smaller scale. I don't think it's a horrible idea, but the thing is for me, the reason that I take 8 clients, one of the reasons only 8 clients is because I can do that. I can do that 5 managers per week for 8 different people. It's not that hard to do manually. So I just do that. I time block every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and my mid mornings are open so that I can just sit down and message managers. And I'll also be responding to people. And some people prefer to be talking over email, so then I'm emailing the people as well, or helping in the group chat with a client to schedule an interview. So it's not that big of a workload, just the number of people, the nature of this closer knit group. But hopefully that answered that part for you. But please, the third part.
No. The second question, it was not about the content of the email or chat. It was about to find out the person, a right point of contact in the company with the email ID, everything with the designation, company name, everything with like, in a complete spreadsheet kind of thing, but not exactly in a spreadsheet, in a tool. where everything gets updated, or probably if I'm updating the job listing, it will automatically find out the probable point of contacts with the email ID, everything. Though
Okay,
that's what I
okay.
was.
How about
So
Clay? Have you
yeah,
used Clay?
yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing as of now. Yeah, I'm using that, but I don't know how accurate is the contact details are, but I'm trying that uh regarding that.
All right.
So another thing, so for LinkedIn, so if while we are proceeding with the program, do I have to sign up for the premium subscription? Because without premium, the number of emails that one can send is limited per
Yeah.
week and per month. So will I have to get the subscription as well for the premium subscription LinkedIn for that?
Yeah, I have the code for it, 2 months free. If you haven't done a 2 months free trial yet, then you can use that. If you have, then I can just give you, we can organize something where if that's really a problem that you don't want to pay for it, then, I can help you do that. So, but yeah, you do kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
need it. You do
Oh,
kind of need it
okay.
because
I
of the
thought as
limits.
much. Mm. Okay. Yeah, probably we will talk about that offline, but yeah, I would need to get that deposit because I don't have a premium subscription.
Okay.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right. I see.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, so I mean it's I think if you it should be around 33 euros, or if I remember correctly, per month. I'm doing on the year, so I forget when you pay monthly what it is. It's something like that. And yeah, I mean we can figure it out. It's not that much of a big deal. So it looks like Stefano is leaving. Thanks for dropping by, Stefano. Appreciate it. I was just putting in the course information as well. So if anyone's interested more in that, Mr. Musla, you had mentioned that you were curious about it. The link there is in the chat. You can check it out. So how the fifth seat works. Right now we're on the fifth one. So I'm looking for 4 more people. We just need to check and make sure that your job is suitable, that we can find the number of roles. So we'll have to talk about that. But the payment is, so the fifth seat is just under 5,200 euros. So usually the payment is made a down payment and then a final payment, which was in 4 days. But because we're already at the course, you can either do it in 2 or you can do it by the month. And you can get interest free. Anyone here, if you're in Europe, you can get interest free installments from Klarna. So Klarna, if you probably use it for other stuff, but you can organize a payment through the Immigrant Spirit website, so you get the loan interest free for a month if you need to do that, because I know that some people are pressed with that their budgeting, and most people don't have 5,000 in savings. So I understand that there are ways that you can flexibly pay for this, but then we're totally set, and then we're working together until you get a job, so however long it takes and whatever it takes. That's the goal, and that's the promise. Does anyone have let's see, everyone has their cameras off. I can't tell. All right. I also put in the chat. Thanks again, Patel, for putting in the link about the CDU scrapping part-time work. I'm going to read that after this. Then I also put in the link about just interesting one. Perplexity was talking about the job market. If it wasn't for foreigners, it'd even be worse. The other links that I have open are the top 10 roles. I can share that here, like that are open, but it's pretty much the same every month. It's sales, logistics, and healthcare are the 3 most right now, according to Arbeitsagentur. And it still takes 5 months on average to fill a job post. So those are kind of 2 interesting ones that people usually like to hear. I'll just pull it up. So here's the vacancies and the average time to fill the vacancies over here in days. That's about 5 months. Anyone can go to this website. You can check about this Bundesagentur für Arbeit. You can always check the labor statistics and get an idea of why the market is so bad, or what are the exact numbers of things, and by cities and regions. And this one, let's see, there's, oh, we didn't talk about this one, but this also came in a newsletter recently that half of Europeans are looking for a new job. So this is again back to the idea of why is the market so bad? That's what people are wondering and searching on Google, is because a lot of people are looking for new jobs and not a lot of people are looking with intention. They don't really care which job that they get. If you think about the average person applying, it's probably someone who's just at lunch, they're bored, or they're not feeling fulfilled at their current job. They're looking for something new. They're kind of just casually applying around, and this is creating super clogged systems. A lot of companies have a ton of applications. They don't know who's serious. You know, like when I get an application for Immigrant Spirit, it's hard to tell sometimes if it's real or if it's someone that just sent in an AI application. And then you don't want to interview someone if you don't think that they're truly interested, or, you know, if you don't think that they actually made their application authentically. So this is one of the reasons why it's so bad, because there's a lot of competition. It's a lot of fake competition, to be honest. So don't think it's about you. You really need to. We're at about an hour here, but one big thing is you need to make it apparent to the manager that you're truly interested. It's your number one priority, and you're ready to take control of the process, and you're ready to have an interview. Zulfi talked about how he did that, and it feels a little bit strange at first, but it really makes a difference, because as someone who hires, if you were to come to me and message me directly and say that, you know, you want to schedule a meeting and here's why you're a fit, 1, 2 reasons or 3 reasons, or in an email, and I can tell that you wrote it, and I can tell that you really want to do it, then you would catch my attention, and it would be interesting to me to do something with that. But otherwise, if it's just an application, I don't know if you really want to do it, or if you put in effort to just send the CV or send the cover letter. But in any case, thanks for sticking around, everyone. It's 1 hour here. We can jump off here. It was recorded, so I'll take a look afterwards. I can send you the recording. I'll post it in the newsletter. So if anyone wants me to send them anything else other than what's in the chat, any links, then I can do that as well. The link for the upcoming course on Monday is there in the chat as well. Expats Job Miracle. Again, flexibility with how the investment works on your side. We need to talk about that. But there's different options for you to do that. But the time is now. We're starting on Monday, and this is when people are getting hired. The hiring season's starting again. So important time for you guys. Zulfikar, any last words that you want to give?
Nothing much. Just thanking all who showed up today, and wishing them the best of luck.
Good deal. Yeah, thanks everyone. And Vinu, I think Vinu left, but yeah, Patel, Vinu, Prakash, Stefano, Mr. Musle, Natalie, everyone here still in the meeting. Maxwell, looks like he came by. Yeah, thank you guys. Feel free to email me any questions. Mr. Musle, if you want to stick around. I'm sorry, Mr. Musle, what is your first name? L?
Ahmed El Muslim.
Ahmed. Okay, sorry, because it just says on Zoom El Musla. That's why. But Ahmed, if you want to stick back and talk with Zulfikar and I about the program, then we can also do that, or we can do it at a later time.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I guess we have it tomorrow as well. If you
Tomorrow?
want, we can.
Yeah, the thing with tomorrow, I need to look. I have, I think, 3 meetings tomorrow. Let's see. You want to do, well,
So I have a 20-minute. Can we do it?
okay. Yeah, I think that's good. 20 minutes should be
Okay.
good.
So first of all, thanks.
Sorry, Kevin, I have to drop off.
Okay, yeah, no
All
problem.
right.
No
All
problem.
right, perfect. All right, thank you.
Sure. See you,
Thanks.
Zulfikar.
Thanks. Bye.
Kevin, just before I leave, you said the course starts on Monday. Is there like a specific time that
No specific time. It's just that that's the first day my calendar will be open for bookings. And then so you'll get my Calendly, and it's generally the start of the week. So then on Tuesday then and Wednesday, I'll start reaching out for the other 4 people at the moment, to the managers. So then by Monday, if you can start putting people into this form that I can see, and I'll help you start finding those people. It's just from next week. That's the start of the week and the start of the first official, reach out week.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, if you'd like, we're going to talk a little bit more, I think more pointed questions, but if you need to leave, no problem. We can also talk on Monday tomorrow's, I have a few meetings, but on Monday, if you want to talk, just have a one-on-one, we can also do that. Do you want to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Then let's do this. Let me have this talk right now, and then I'll email you my availability. But generally, I would say 11 o'clock or 1 p.m. would work.
And do you have any thoughts later? Why I'm asking is so the class that I'm doing currently, the German classes, they're in person and they end at 12:45. And it takes me at least half an hour to get back to my place. So I would be available like around.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I'll take a look. I'll
Okay.
move something around if I need to. It shouldn't be an issue to meet in the afternoon. If
Okay.
you could just for Monday, if you could take a look and try to bring some company ideas so that we can start to make a plan of action for those companies, and then I can start to see if those are good options for us to pursue, that would be great.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds great. Yeah. Have a nice rest of the evening. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Now it's just the 2 of us here. Ahmed.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. No cam. You don't have a camera?
Actually, at the beginning of this meeting, I tried to fix it, but I'm using now Linux Mint operating system, and I find it difficult to troubleshoot how to fix it. So I can't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's do this. I just realized that it's still going on the meeting, that it's being recorded. Why don't I'll exit this. I'll send you my personal room, and then we can go in there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.